Okay, welcome back everyone. Today we're going to be diving into the market madness. We're going to be looking at what's transpired over the weekend. We're going to be looking at, the current Bitcoin price action, and more importantly, we're going to be planning for what's coming ahead. Well, what's the market sentiment at the moment? Well, we've been ranging, close to our supply, and the current fair price of Bitcoin sits at around 51,900, and it's deciding whether it's going to continue its rally up or it's going to mark down. All right, so we're going to look at the price action and dissect exactly what our potential plan may be as for our next trade. As I always say, you have to plan your trade and trade your plan. We're not gambling anymore. We are looking at price action accurately and predicting a high probability areas. Well, let's start by taking a look at our recent trades as well as where we were as of Friday. Well, as of Friday, we were in this line here. Okay, I've just used the bar replay tool to rewind back to Friday. And what were we looking at? Well, over here, we were looking at, this said, my next Bitcoin trade, would be a touch of our supply zone, accompanied with a brief transition in market structure from bullish to bearish on a local time frame from between the 3 minutes and the 5 minutes. Okay, that will be trade number one, scenario number one. Scenario number two was a retest of our previous demand zone. That was for some more continuation up. So what does this look like graphically? Well, it looked like this. On a 15 minute, we had our range high, range low. We've got the middle of our range there. And I was saying, well, what we would want is actually a nice bar, a bull bar, that wicks into our grey supply. If it wicks into our grey supply, we can look for a change in market structure and rotate that down, and that will set this nice short for us. And the scenario number two was a long from this demand zone. Well, let's see what's happened. If we take a look at what's actually transpired, well, we've had the range we're looking at. Price wicked off that level, and we can see it. We can see that wick clearly. Perhaps we can see on the 1 hour. We can see that wick right there. Well, I'm going to get rid of this for now. We can see that bull bar that took out this high as well as wicked our supply, and resulted in a markdown. Now, how remarkable was that markdown? Let's take a look. Okay, I'm going to pause it there because there's something you need to be aware of. I'm sure lots of you would have followed the signal, and entered a trade up there. Okay, but some of you would have also missed that. If we look at that post, I think about 143 people viewed it, and I'm sure there must have been some of you who missed that. So, in the case that you did miss that, what were your options? Were you just going to look around and say, do you know what, I've missed the trade and, on to the next one? No worries if you did that. But if you didn't, there was another opportunity to enter, and that was the following. Well, we had a nice distribution here. We had our tap number one, we had our tap number two, and we had a tap number three. Okay, so this was another region to enter that short to mark down. So not only did you get an entrance here, you also got an entrance over there. All right, so let's continue playing that to see what transpired. Remember, we were also looking for a long from this zone, all right, this demand zone. All right, we're looking for a long from that zone to see if we could potentially mark up. So let's see what price action did. Nice. So it's come nice, it's come down for a nice, I think that was about 5%, okay, which is quite nice, good. And it's also, actually, it's not bounced off our level, to be honest. It's not bounced off our level, but it stopped in a very weird position. Why is this a weird position? It's a weird position because of what's over to the left-hand side. Well, if you look at the left-hand side, we've got this massive fair value gap over here. Now, this is, like I said, this is a risky one. It's a risky place to take a, long there, simply because, this is inefficient price action. So price could easily, just marked all the way down. So, don't blame yourself if you actually didn't enter a trade there. It didn't actually tag my alert, so I wasn't able to enter that one. So unfortunately, I didn't get into that one. Okay, but I was in that, short, and that was good enough for me. So if we see what price has done since then, price has marked up. which is what we expected. Now we're thinking, right, price is marked up. Is it going to take out this high? Is it going to, tag that stop loss? And are we going to be in trouble? Well, as you know, we've tagged that supply, and usually this supply, we did say on the 30 minutes that this was a suspicious supply. Why was it suspicious? It was suspicious because we weren't sure if it was going to work, because we said this supply was bang in the middle of lots of inefficient price action. So if we look at the higher time frame, we can see that this supply zone is right around here. It's not quite clear, but it's bang in the middle of this inefficient price action, these fair value gaps. So we thought that was quite risky business. And remember, as I always say, easy up, easy down, easy down, easy up. So as price marks down quite fluently, price could have easily marked up fluently. So we weren't sure if that was going to act, if it was going to be activated, but it actually did work. So that's good. So let's go back to our more recent price action and let's see. So that was trade number 1 that I entered. Okay. Now, how was I able to enter that trade? As I said, we were looking for clear market structure change as we approach that level. If we look at the structure, we have our low here, we tag, we have our break-in structure over here, retrace, and we can write that down, okay? So if you didn't enter here off of market cipher, because market cipher was also giving you, the bearish divergence as price was marking up, momentum was marking down, money flow was marking down. If you didn't enter there, you could have entered here. If you didn't enter here, you probably could have entered here, okay? So you had numerous opportunities to enter that trade, and we saw that one, we planned that one, and we executed that one, okay? Now, what was the next trade? Trade number 2 that I've entered was a long trade, from a demand range, okay? Now, this was an interesting one. Trade number two I did not enter. That was a long from this demand range. We didn't quite tag the demand, okay? So we're not going to talk about that any further. That was quite a tricky one anyways, because we didn't really get any market structure change as we approached that level, all right? The only market structure we got, was all the way up here. If we consider the mark down, we draw that structure, we have a high there, then I guess we start that reaction here, and then we don't break structure all the way up to here. Okay, so this is the first break, not a crazy break, not a convincing break. We retrace into the demand, and we go up. Now, look at that stop loss. There's no way I'm entering a trade and having a $900 stop loss. There's no way. All right, so that one, I let that one go. Actually, I wasn't next to the computer when that happened. It happened on Saturday, and I don't usually trade over the weekend, okay? So, let's see what's transpired since then. Well, what is Bitcoin actually doing at the moment? Well, Bitcoin seems to be doing the following. Let's just go to the side. Bitcoin seems to be doing this. It's marking up, it's heading towards supply, it's ranged at supply, reacted at supply, broken, is broken structure downwards, seems to be on that retracement leg for some more downward action, okay? So this is what I believe Bitcoin is doing at the minute. Something like this, where you've got this distribution up here, we've got our range up here, it's broken out of the range, we're retracing for some more downward action. Now you could have entered your short as I did here, right? But you can also look to enter a short. Let's just bring this down. You can also look to enter a short at around this level, okay? So that retracement leg. But to enter at that retracement leg, what must you get? You must look for your reconfirmation. What is your reconfirmation? Your reconfirmation is when in that decisional leg, this is your decisional leg, as price goes up, the reconfirmation will be a change in market structure on that leg, okay? And that change in market structure would happen right around here, all right? It breaks structure downward, and you can look to enter right around here, all right? So that's what we'll be looking out for. Now let's see what has transpired here. As we can see, this whole thing is our decisional leg, okay? And we can trace market structure as we approach that leg to see if we got that reconfirmation. All right, so what does market structure look like? Well, as we go up, it looks something like this. If we can take this all as one, bang. Okay, so we can actually I guess we can say it's broken structure now. It's broken structure on the 15-minute now. All right, and we've had that retracement and we're looking to go further down. All right, okay. Or you can take this as your decisional leg. Now, if you took this as your decisional leg, if you took that as your decisional leg, let's go to the 5-minute. If we go into the 5-minute to see where structure would have broken, well, your decisional leg looks like that. Bang. So you'd have got a nice breaking structure over there, okay, which would have made for a trade with better risk to reward. Okay, so that was the one I entered. So I was able to enter on the 5-minute. And what else can we see there? Over there as well, we can see market cipher is printing a bearish divergence. All right, so I'm just going to clear this up so you can see it clearly, because this chart is starting to look very, very messy. So I'm going to clear this up as well. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of these ranges just so you can see exactly what's going on. All right, so we can see where is the bearish divergence. Well, bearish divergence as our money flow and momentum is marking down, we've got our price going up. All right, so that's the other trade that I'm currently in. I'm still in that trade. I've removed 50% off of it. I haven't yet moved my stop loss to entry. I probably will soon. I'm going to do that as soon as, if price breaks through this level, I'm going to move that to entry. Okay, and also I have entered a small scalp long. Why have I done that? Well, I noticed this 12-minute demand. Okay, I noticed that as price came down, I entered it purely based on market cipher actually. So we got a nice divergence on market cipher. I don't think we did we get it on the 12-minute? Yes, we got it on the 12-minute. We can see that as price, price marks up, price marks down, our momentum wave marks up. So as price marks down, our momentum marks up. Although this is a sketchy one. Why is it a sketchy one? Because money flow is still pointing down, all right? So this one is probably one that I'm going to look to get out very soon, especially if we get a bounce over here. I will look to get out of that very soon because, I'm kind of bearish at the moment, and I think we're probably getting, further down, all right? So that's it for our trade. Just just an update as to where we were last week. Now, what does the rest of the week look like? Well, let's look on the higher time frame. If we see, that on the monthly or on the 3-day, in terms of our overall structure, we had a high, low, high, broke structure. Now we're in that retracement leg. Where is that retracement going to take place? We don't quite know yet. Is it going to take place at that 30-minute supply we're currently at? Who knows? Is it going to happen at a 12-hour supply that is slightly above that? Who knows? All right. But we do know we're expecting a retracement very soon. Now, that retracement could take place anytime now, to be honest. All right. This could be the beginning of that retracement. Okay. We've tagged the 30-minute supply. We've retraced. We could be looking to flush further down. So in the case that this is, the beginning of that retracement, what are my next trades? Well, I'm still in that short from there. Okay, so I'm going to leave that running. And in the case that we mark down, this is another zone for reaction. We've got a 1-hour zone over here. So I would be looking for price to do something like this. So as price marks down, I'm looking at that level to see if we get a change in market structure, even if it's just for, lower high for some further downward action. So I'll be looking for a change in market structure there. So that's a zone to watch. Also, below that, we obviously have this low, which is another level to watch. Okay, so I'm looking there to see if we get some sort of SFP play. These are my long plays. If we get some sort of SFP play that looks like that, let's say we wick that level, and we have our bar, that goes up afterwards. So we get that rejection looking like that. Okay, so if we get something looking like that at that level, I will be looking to long that off of a break in market structure. Also, we've got this zone over here. This zone hasn't been tagged yet. Why am I still looking at this zone? Well, usually Bitcoin likes to retest its demand zones. What do I mean by that? Well, look, as we had this zone here, demand, we broke out of demand, Bitcoin came all the way back to retest it before it went further up. Now over here, we haven't had much of a retest, okay, which means if price does come close to this region, price has the ability to just flush all the way down like that, okay, without anything really stopping it. Okay, so what else can we see here? Can we see any other examples where we've retested the zone? Yes, we have an example here. We had a demand, we broke out of demand, price came back up, to test that demand before it went up. Okay, so that's something Bitcoin likes to do. Is that what we're going to do again? Okay, who knows? So I'm going to watch that zone, okay, to see if we can get a reaction off that zone. Of course, above us, we've got our 12-hour zone up there. That 12-hour zone is something that we also need to pay attention to. So, just to summarize, what am I looking out for? I'm looking for a reaction off this 1 hour supply, or I'm looking for a reaction off the low, of, that level, our range low, okay? Because, we are in a massive range. We've got our range, our first range that looks like this, okay? And then we've had mini ranges in between. We've had a range over here, okay? And then we've also had, a range over here as well, which we seem to be breaking down from. Okay, so we've had a range within a range, within a range, within a range, right? So just make sure that you have your levels set out and you have your confirmations ready. So what are my confirmations for this trade? First of all, I'm going to set my alert over there, just above that zone. That doesn't look like an alert. Let's get rid of that. Anyway, I'll make it an alert. Oh. Alerts are not available on replay mode. Alright, so let's get out of replay mode. Alright, so I'm going to set my alert there. That's alert number 1. That's for a potential long. Obviously, I've still got my alert from down here. Okay. And as for my short trades, what shorts am I looking out for? Price does look kind of bearish at the moment, but in the case we make our way back up to this range high, it's worth setting an alert there at that level to see whether we're going to SFP it for a potential short. Okay, so our next trade looks as such. We've got a short position up there. We have our long position. We'll have a long position here. Okay. And we also have another long position just below that. Okay. And obviously I'm looking at that level there to see if we get a reaction. Okay. So these are my next setups, and this is what I'm looking out for. Now, am I setting limit orders? Am I saying, right, as soon as the price hits that level, I'm in? No, I am not doing that. What am I doing? Well, I am waiting patiently for my confirmation. Now, what is my confirmation? I want to show you my confirmation. It's up here. My confirmation is as such. In the case that we have, here we go. Okay, so in the case, let me just move this so you can see it clearly. Right, I should do. Okay, so in the case that we have a supply, as price in green heads towards my supply, if it tags that supply, I'm waiting for a break-in structure off that supply and a retracement. I'm going to enter on that retracement. Now that will probably be happening as market cipher is printing a bullish divergence or bearish divergence. In this case, it will be a bearish divergence. So this is my confirmation for entering a short trade. Now what's my confirmation for entering the long trade? Well, if I just flip this, well, it's not letting me flip it, but anyway, my confirmation for entering a long trade would look like this. If this is my supply, I'd be looking out for price to come into that zone, not my supply, my demand. I'm looking for price to come into that zone. As it tags that zone, looking for break-in structure. Now we can see that break-in structure here. Now after that break-in structure, I'm now looking for a retracement leg. That retracement, and then I'm going to look to enter my trade there. So I'm going to look to put my long over there. Okay. Now what usually you would see is that as this is happening, market cipher is printing a bullish divergence. Okay. So there you have it. That's my confirmation. Happy trading, and I will see you tomorrow.